Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what it really means when a woman lives alone? It's not just about having a space to call her own. It's about power, independence, and strength. There's something undeniably magnetic about a woman who stands tall and confidently in her own life. She's not just surviving, she's thriving. And that's something you can't help but notice. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh, she's just independent. That's all. But hold up. There's a lot more to it than that. This isn't just about having a home to herself. It's about the energy she brings into the world. She's learned to handle life on her own terms, and trust me, when you see a woman who truly gets that, it's like watching someone who's mastered the art of life. Stick around, because what I'm about to share with you will completely change how you view women who live alone and the real power they hold. You won't want to miss this. A woman who lives alone is often misunderstood by many. People tend to think that living alone automatically means loneliness, isolation, or maybe a lack of connection. But the reality is much more complex and much more empowering than that. When a woman chooses to live alone, it's a conscious decision to take control of her own life. She has chosen independence, not out of necessity, but because she values the freedom it brings. This choice speaks volumes about her self-reliance, her ability to stand tall without leaning on anyone, and her desire to carve her own path. The first thing that stands out about a woman who lives alone is her sense of self. She knows who she is. She's comfortable with her own company, enjoys her own thoughts, and understands the value of solitude. This doesn't mean she's anti-social or avoids people. On the contrary, she is often very social and knows how to build meaningful relationships. But living alone teaches her the importance of being at peace with herself, first and foremost. It's a strength that's often overlooked in a world that tells us we need constant companionship to be fulfilled. In reality, fulfillment starts from within, and a woman who lives alone knows that better than anyone, living alone also cultivates incredible responsibility. A woman who lives alone is fully accountable for everything that happens in her life. From managing her finances to maintaining her home, she takes on a variety of roles that require practical skills and emotional maturity. She learns how to handle life's challenges with resilience, because at the end of the day, it's her responsibility to keep things running smoothly. There's no one else to pass the blame to. She takes full ownership of her decisions and their consequences. And let me tell you, that creates a level of character that's truly admirable. When a woman lives alone, she also experiences the true meaning of freedom. She has the space to make decisions that are entirely her own. She doesn't have to consult with anyone, and there's no one to answer to. That freedom is empowering. It gives her the ability to chase her dreams without any hesitation or fear of judgment. She has the time and space to focus on her goals, to work on herself, and to grow in ways that wouldn't be possible in a shared living environment. The ability to shape her life on her terms is an incredible gift, one that many people never fully realize or take advantage of. But it's not just about independence. It's also about the strength it takes to maintain that independence. People often don't realize how much courage it takes for a woman to live alone. It's not always easy. There are moments when she has to confront her fears, whether it's fear of the unknown, fear of being alone, or fear of failure. But she faces those fears head on. She doesn't run from them. She embraces them. That's what makes her so powerful. It's not the absence of fear that defines her, but how she deals with it. A woman who lives alone understands that vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a part of being human. She embraces her vulnerability, but she also uses it as fuel to strengthen herself. Another important aspect of a woman who lives alone is that she has learned how to set boundaries. She understands the importance of saying no when needed, and she knows when to prioritize her own needs. Setting boundaries is a vital part of self-care, and living alone teaches her how to do it effectively. She doesn't allow people to overstep her personal space, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental. She understands that respect is earned, and she demands it from others by first respecting herself. That's a lesson many people struggle to learn, but for a woman who lives alone, it becomes second nature. The truth is, a woman who lives alone isn't just surviving, she's thriving. She's learned the art of self-sufficiency, emotional maturity, and personal growth. She's built a life that reflects her values, her strength, and her resilience. While others may think of her as solitary, the reality is that she is one of the most confident and capable people you'll meet. She's not waiting for someone to complete her or to give her direction. She is the captain of her own ship, charting her own course. And that, my friends, is one of the most powerful things a person can do. It takes guts, determination, and an unwavering belief in oneself. A woman who lives alone has all of that and more. A woman who lives alone embodies strength in ways that are often underestimated. One of the key characteristics that set her apart is the level of emotional resilience she develops. Living alone teaches you that your peace, your happiness, and your emotional well-being are entirely within your own control. You learn quickly that no one is going to come and rescue you from your struggles. No one is going to make everything okay when life feels overwhelming. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you learn how to deal with the ups and downs of life on your own terms. For a woman who lives alone, emotional resilience becomes a survival mechanism. It's about being able to weather the storms of life without losing yourself in the process. You become adept at handling the emotional turbulence that life throws your way. Whether it's work stress, personal loss, or simply a bad day, you get to a point where you realize that you are your own best friend. You've learned how to soothe your own soul, how to pick yourself up after a setback, and how to keep going even when you feel like you can't. Living alone also cultivates a sense of mental clarity. With no one else to distract you or rely on, you begin to see things from a different perspective. You learn to listen to your own thoughts. And sometimes that's the clearest path to understanding what you truly want in life. It's like a form of self-therapy. The absence of external noise allows you to focus on yourself, on your goals, your dreams, your needs, and your desires. This kind of mental clarity allows a woman to make decisions that align with her true self rather than being influenced by the expectations of others. In addition to emotional resilience, a woman who lives alone has mastered the art of self-care. When you live alone, you quickly realize that no one else is going to take care of you if you don't take care of yourself. There are no family members or roommates to offer help when you're feeling under the weather or overwhelmed. It's up to you to ensure your well-being both physically and emotionally. And through this process, you develop a deep sense of self-worth. You start to understand that you are worthy of care, of love, and of respect. No longer do you have to wait for someone to validate your worth. You learn how to do it for yourself. Self-care goes beyond just taking a bubble bath or pampering yourself once in a while. It's about creating a life that's nurturing to your soul. It's about making choices that prioritize your mental and emotional health and setting boundaries that protect your peace. A woman who lives alone is not afraid to take time for herself. She knows that in order to give to others, she must first give to herself. This understanding leads to a life that is balanced and fulfilled, where she doesn't sacrifice her needs for the sake of others. She knows how to say no when needed and how to say yes when it aligns with her happiness. Another aspect of strength that emerges from living alone is independence. A woman who lives alone doesn't need anyone to validate her existence. She doesn't rely on anyone else to feel fulfilled or worthy. She has learned the valuable lesson that she is enough on her own. Her independence isn't just financial, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. She has the power to navigate life's challenges on her own terms, to take charge of her own destiny, and to make decisions that reflect her true desires. Living alone teaches you the importance of self-reliance. You start to understand that in this world, you are the only person you can count on at the end of the day. You don't need someone else's approval to be successful or happy. You create your own path. And when you've learned to rely on yourself, you also start to attract the right kind of people into your life. Those who respect your boundaries, appreciate your independence, and support your growth. Ultimately, a woman who lives alone is not just surviving, she is thriving. She has developed the emotional strength to face the world with confidence, the mental clarity to make decisions that reflect her true self, and the independence to build a life that she truly loves. She knows that her happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. It depends on her, and that's an empowering realization. In a world where many people look for validation and approval from others, she stands tall, proud of who she is and what she has built for herself. She has mastered the art of being content with her own company, and in doing so, she has become a force to be reckoned with. A woman who lives alone also develops a profound sense of self-sufficiency that many others may never truly experience. When you're living solo, every task, every responsibility, and every challenge falls squarely on your shoulders. There are no shared duties, no one to divide the workload with. Whether it's fixing a leaking pipe, assembling furniture, handling financial matters, or simply maintaining the house, you are the one who gets it done. You develop a kind of do-it-yourself mentality that teaches you to face problems head on without waiting for help. Over time, you begin to trust your own abilities more and more. You start to realize that if you set your mind to something, you can figure it out on your own. This level of self-sufficiency creates a deep confidence in your capacity to handle life. You're not just relying on someone else for support or guidance. You learn to trust your own instincts, and that trust becomes a foundation for making decisions in every area of your life. One of the most significant ways this self-sufficiency impacts a woman's life is in the way she navigates emotional challenges. Life can be tough, and at times it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But when you're living alone, you come to realize that it's up to you to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. There's no one around to pull you out of your funk, no one to offer a shoulder to cry on every time you face difficulty. This forces you to face your emotions head on, to work through them independently, and to find peace within yourself. Living alone can sometimes mean confronting fears and anxieties without the comforting presence of someone else. For some women, this can feel like an overwhelming burden at first, but in the long run, it strengthens their resilience. They learn how to cope with the quiet, how to embrace their solitude, and how to build a sense of peace within their own hearts. Over time, they begin to realize that they are more than capable of handling whatever life throws at them because they've already conquered so many challenges on their own. Moreover, living alone teaches women how to prioritize their own needs. In a society that often pushes women to put others first, living solo forces you to focus on yourself. You're the one who decides how to spend your time, where to invest your energy, and what's truly important in your life. It's easy to get lost in the hustle of everyday life, to please others and put your own needs on the back burner. But when you're on your own, you realize that you can't pour from an empty cup. You begin to recognize that self-care is essential, and you become more intentional about carving out time for activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul. This leads to a deeper connection with yourself. A woman who lives alone starts to learn who she truly is, independent of any external influences. She is no longer defined by the expectations of others or by societal norms. She becomes the author of her own story, and through that process, she discovers her strengths, her passions, and her purpose. This journey towards self-discovery can also bring about a deeper understanding of relationships. When you're on your own, you're not relying on anyone else to complete you or make you feel whole. This knowledge allows you to approach relationships from a place of wholeness. You're not looking to another person to fix you or validate you. And because of that, you bring a healthier, more balanced energy to your interactions. You understand that love and connection should be based on mutual respect and shared values, not on a need to fill a void or seek constant affirmation. Moreover, living alone teaches the importance of setting boundaries. Without others to navigate those lines with, a woman living solo quickly learns the importance of defining what is and isn't acceptable in her life. She understands that in order to maintain her peace, she must assert her boundaries and stick to them. This ability to set boundaries extends not only to others, but also to herself. She learns when to say no to things that drain her energy and when to say yes to things that nourish her spirit. The confidence gained from this self-sufficiency empowers a woman to be clear about her needs and desires, both in relationships and in life. She no longer waits for others to tell her what she deserves because she already knows. She's learned how to advocate for herself, how to stand firm in her decisions, and how to create a life that reflects her values. At the same time, living alone allows a woman the freedom to explore her own interests and passions. Without the distractions of others, she can fully immerse herself in her hobbies, develop new skills, and pursue dreams that may have been put on hold while she focused on other people. This autonomy allows her to grow into the best version of herself and to truly understand what she wants out of life beyond anyone else's expectations. Ultimately, a woman who lives alone becomes incredibly resourceful. She is constantly problem-solving, learning, and growing. She is self-sufficient not just because she has to be, but because she wants to be. Through her independence, she discovers her own strength and resilience, which empowers her to take on the world with confidence, knowing she is more than capable of handling whatever comes her way. This sense of independence doesn't just help her navigate daily life. It becomes a foundation for everything she does, allowing her to live a fulfilled, purpose-driven life. Living alone often gives a woman the freedom to discover what truly matters to her without the influence of others' opinions or expectations. When you're by yourself, you don't have to answer to anyone else, and that can be a powerful experience. The peace and solitude allow for reflection and self-awareness, where you can truly connect with who you are and what you want out of life. There's no need to constantly adjust or compromise your actions based on someone else's thoughts, feelings, or desires. The quiet moments you experience alone give you space to tune in to your own thoughts, and that deep internal connection can help you make decisions that align with your true self. When you're living alone, you have the unique ability to create your own routines, habits, and lifestyle without needing to conform to someone else's needs. You can wake up when you want, spend your time as you choose, and shape your day to match what feels right for you. You might discover hobbies, interests, or practices that make you feel truly alive, whether that's diving into a new craft, exercising in ways you love, or dedicating time to spiritual or personal growth. You are the architect of your day, free to make choices that nurture your well-being and happiness. This autonomy can create a sense of fulfillment that may be harder to find when you are constantly adapting to someone else's schedule or preferences. Another powerful aspect of living alone is learning how to be comfortable with your own company. Being in solitude often allows you to face moments of discomfort, whether that's loneliness, anxiety, or quiet moments that stir deep thoughts. At first, this can be unsettling, especially if you are used to having others around to fill up the silence. But over time, learning to sit with yourself can be liberating. You begin to enjoy your own presence. You start to understand that you don't need external validation or constant social interaction to feel good about yourself. You are enough just as you are. This understanding creates a deep sense of self-acceptance and self-love, which is crucial for emotional well-being. Living alone also teaches you a level of responsibility that strengthens your character. Without someone to rely on, you quickly learn to manage all aspects of life: finances, household tasks, emotional challenges, and even the mundane tasks like grocery shopping or doing laundry. These responsibilities build your confidence because you begin to realize that you can handle all aspects of life by yourself. While these tasks may seem small, they collectively teach you discipline, time management, and problem solving. You are the one who ensures your environment is clean and comfortable. And you also learn how to handle financial pressures and emotional ups and downs without needing someone else to step in and fix things for you. The ability to manage your own life, even in the face of challenges, gives you a sense of accomplishment that carries into other areas of your life. Through all of this, living alone also provides you with the ability to take control of your mental and emotional space. You're not forced to deal with negative energy from others or have your mental health affected by the stressors that come with coexisting with others. This personal space provides you with the freedom to cultivate your mental and emotional well-being. You can practice mindfulness meditation or journaling to process your feelings and find clarity. If you feel overwhelmed or stressed, you can create a peaceful environment that promotes relaxation and healing without the distractions of others' energy or constant demands. You have the time and space to focus on your emotional needs, which leads to greater mental strength. Furthermore, living alone fosters a strong sense of independence that can carry over into every aspect of life. You begin to learn that you don't have to rely on others for happiness or fulfillment. The key to living a fulfilling life is rooted in self-reliance and the ability to create your own joy. Whether it's planning a solo trip, pursuing a passion project, or simply spending time reflecting on your own desires and goals, you get to decide how your life unfolds. You gain a deep understanding that you have the power to create the life you want, regardless of anyone else's influence. This independence also allows you to build healthier relationships. Because you are not emotionally dependent on others, you enter relationships from a place of completeness, rather than looking for someone to fill an emotional void. You know how to take care of yourself, set boundaries, and communicate your needs clearly. This not only leads to healthier romantic relationships, but also better friendships and connections with others. You are not seeking validation or approval from others, and as a result, your interactions are more genuine and authentic. Finally, living alone cultivates a deep sense of resilience. It's easy to fall into the trap of relying on others for support when times get tough. But when you live alone, you face difficulties head on and find ways to navigate them without assistance. This resilience isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving. You learn how to bounce back from setbacks, how to find solutions when things go wrong, and how to maintain your peace of mind, even in difficult circumstances. Over time, these experiences teach you how strong and capable you really are, and this confidence radiates into every area of your life. In conclusion, living alone can be a transformative experience. It teaches you how to rely on yourself, how to find joy in your own company, and how to take control of your life and your emotions. You discover strengths you didn't know you had, and you build a deeper connection with who you truly are. It's not always easy, but the rewards are invaluable. creating a life that is not only independent, but also fulfilling and deeply satisfying. Living alone also brings about an invaluable sense of empowerment. There's something deeply empowering about handling all aspects of life on your own. You have to figure out everything from managing your finances to making decisions about your personal well-being, and you do it by yourself. There is no safety net, no fallback, and no one else to handle the hard decisions. It's all you. This responsibility isn't something that weighs you down, it's something that lifts you up. It creates a profound sense of independence and confidence that can affect every part of your life. When you live alone, you realize you have control over all the small details that make up your life. How you decorate your space, what food you eat, the activities you choose to engage in, and how you spend your free time. Every decision is yours. There is a freedom in that. No more compromises or adjusting to someone else's preferences or routines. You have complete authority over your environment, and that creates a sense of liberation. Your living space becomes a true reflection of who you are without anyone else's influence or opinions. Every corner, every decoration, every arrangement is a part of you, your tastes, and your desires. That control over your environment can be incredibly fulfilling, as it lets you design a space that truly nurtures you. Living alone also forces you to become resourceful in ways that may not have been necessary before. If something breaks or you need to handle a problem, it's up to you to fix it. There's no one else to turn to for help. Whether it's dealing with a minor home repair, organizing your finances, or solving an emotional dilemma, the solutions must come from within. This doesn't mean you need to have all the answers or be perfect in every situation, but it does mean you begin to trust yourself more. You learn how to figure things out on your own. You develop critical thinking skills and creative problem-solving abilities because you have no choice but to face problems head on. The sense of accomplishment that comes from handling things yourself is immense, and over time builds an unshakable confidence in your ability to take care of whatever comes your way. It's also worth noting that living alone gives you an immense amount of time to focus on personal growth. When you're constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to get distracted, to lose track of your own goals, or to forget what truly matters to you. But when you live alone, you have space to reflect on your life and think deeply about your ambitions. Whether it's investing in a new skill, learning a language, pursuing an education, or simply becoming more aware of your emotional health, the time and space to focus on personal growth are invaluable. You become the architect of your future because you have the freedom to pursue your interests and goals without the limitations that come with shared living. Additionally, living alone offers a unique opportunity to build emotional resilience. While it's true that solitude can sometimes feel isolating, it's in those moments of solitude that you really learn how to handle your emotions. You may face moments of loneliness, sadness, or frustration, but in those moments, you also learn to process those feelings on your own. Over time, this builds emotional strength. You develop the ability to sit with difficult emotions without needing to rely on others to soothe or fix them. Instead, you learn how to self-soothe, how to process feelings healthily, and how to navigate challenges with a calm mind. That emotional resilience can transfer to other areas of life, making you more adaptable in the face of challenges. Furthermore, living alone also provides the space for you to learn the importance of self-care. When you live with others, it's easy to neglect your own needs while focusing on the needs of the people around you. However, living alone gives you the opportunity to truly understand the importance of caring for yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You become more attuned to your own needs and learn to prioritize your well-being. Whether it's carving out time for rest, indulging in a hobby, or simply enjoying quiet moments to recharge, you learn that taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. This sense of self-care then becomes a natural part of your routine, allowing you to feel more balanced, centered, and prepared to handle the demands of life. Lastly, living alone allows you to cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude for the relationships you do have. When you spend time alone, you start to appreciate the connections you share with others even more. The silence becomes a reminder of the beauty in companionship, in shared experiences, and in emotional support. While you may cherish your alone time, you also begin to realize how valuable the people in your life are. Living alone allows you to strike a balance, valuing both solitude and the relationships that nourish you. It creates an appreciation for healthy relationships, making you more mindful and intentional when interacting with others. In conclusion, living alone brings immense personal growth, empowerment, and freedom. It forces you to develop critical life skills, enhances your emotional resilience, and provides space for self-care and reflection. While it may seem challenging at times, the experience of living alone can offer profound lessons in independence, responsibility, and self-discovery. Over time, you realize that this solitude isn't something to fear, but rather something to embrace and learn from, shaping you into a stronger, more self-reliant person. Living alone also brings with it the freedom to truly focus on what makes you happy, both in the long term and in the day-to-day moments. When you're not juggling the demands of a household full of people, or constantly negotiating with others about what you should do, there's an opportunity to discover the little things that truly bring you joy. It's easy to overlook these things when you're wrapped up in the chaos of life with others. But living alone gives you the quiet space to realize what really makes your heart sing. Whether it's something as simple as sipping a cup of coffee while reading your favorite book, spending the evening indulging in your favorite show without anyone else's opinion, or making time for a hobby you've always loved but never had time for. Living alone lets you rediscover what it means to live for yourself, and not just in small ways. Living alone gives you the chance to make big, bold decisions about your happiness. You might decide to pick up a new passion, travel, start a creative project, or change your career path. Because you are solely responsible for your life, you can create it in a way that best serves your happiness. This freedom to pursue your happiness also leads to a more authentic life. When you're not influenced by the expectations or judgments of others, you can truly tune into who you are and what you value. For many people, this leads to a more genuine way of living. You begin to realize that you're allowed to live by your own standards and not those imposed by society, family, or friends. The pressure to fit into a mold disappears when you live alone, and you get the chance to reinvent yourself if you wish, or simply become more aligned with who you already are. Living alone can also teach you the importance of self, sufficiency, and problem solving. When something breaks down, whether it's a household appliance, your car, or a financial issue, it's up to you to figure it out. This might seem intimidating at first, but over time it becomes incredibly empowering. You learn how to troubleshoot issues and come up with creative solutions because there's no one else around to ask for help. That sense of self-reliance is a crucial life skill. When you live alone, you quickly discover how capable you truly are, and the confidence that comes with solving problems independently is priceless. Another significant aspect of living alone is how it can improve your emotional intelligence. You become more in tune with your own emotions because you have no one else around to distract you or to turn to for advice. When you face challenges, you are forced to confront your feelings directly and deal with them in a healthy way. Over time, this emotional awareness helps you to understand yourself better and can improve your relationships with others. You learn how to communicate more effectively with people in your life because you've learned to communicate with yourself first. And when you understand your own emotions better, it becomes easier to empathize with others, which can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections. Living alone can also provide the space you need to reset and recharge. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it can be easy to lose sight of your personal well. Especially if you're constantly surrounded by others. Living alone allows you to reconnect with yourself, to take a step back, and to breathe. You're able to set boundaries and prioritize your own needs. This is crucial, especially in a world that often demands so much from us. Whether it's through simple relaxation, getting a good night's sleep, or simply having a peaceful evening with no distractions, living alone gives you the space to focus on your own needs and take care of yourself. Furthermore, living alone also nurtures your ability to handle both solitude and social interaction with a greater sense of balance. Being alone isn't the same as being lonely. The distinction is important, and living alone can teach you how to embrace solitude without fear or discomfort. You come to appreciate your own company and realize that solitude doesn't equate to isolation. At the same time, living alone makes you more mindful of the importance of social connections. When you spend time alone, you develop a greater appreciation for meaningful relationships. The time you spend with others becomes more intentional and valuable because you have the space to miss them and recognize the importance of connection. Lastly, living alone creates the opportunity for significant personal growth because you don't have the distraction of others' needs or expectations. You're able to focus on your own development. Whether that means learning new skills, pursuing a new career, or simply taking the time to grow emotionally, the quiet space that living alone provides can act as a catalyst for change. You can take the time to focus on what you want to accomplish in life. And without the constraints of other people's schedules or opinions, you can truly devote yourself to your goals. Whether it's achieving success in your professional life or focusing on your mental and physical health, living alone allows you to center your attention on your personal aspirations. In summary, living alone brings a wealth of benefits that go beyond mere solitude. It gives you the space to pursue happiness, self-sufficiency, and personal growth. It allows you to reconnect with yourself, to solve problems, and to manage your emotions in healthy ways. Over time, the experience of living alone leads to increased confidence, emotional intelligence, and a deeper appreciation for both solitude and the relationships that nourish you. It's not always easy, but it's a path to becoming the best, most self-aware version of yourself.